fulfilled.
Amen.
Now notice, he took Yeshua took the Tommy Deem up to a what?
High mountain.
To a Burger King drive-thru?
High mountain.
High mountain.
To a deluxe apartment in the sky? With George Jefferson and Wheezy? No. He took the Tommy Dean up to a what? High mountain. Montagne. A mountain is symbolic of human government. Write it down. Or any government. A government that here is so high that it is not of this world and it does not originate from this world, and you need to be fast forwarded in time to see a government that is unlike any human government.
Hallelujah.
You've got to go up with Yeshua to places that religion can't take you. The spirit of Jezebel wants to obstruct you from taking you to that high mountain. But when you get a hold of his tzitzit and you go like a calf, talk to me somebody, into the stall. When you go like that calf into that stall and you grab on, and while you're grabbing, you remember Torah, you remember Chukim, you remember Mishpatim. You say, yes, I don't need my grandfather's religion. Dr. Randolph Jr., Reverend Dr. Most Holy Randolph Jr. the Fourth. No, I need what Abe had. I need what Yitzhak had. I need what Yaakov had. I need not some of that good old-time religion. I need some of that good old Israelite wine. Give me that wine, because that wine is really renewed into new wine. I said new wine. I said new wine. New wine. A mountain is symbolic of government. But there is a government that is not of this world. There is a government that is so high and it operates on Torah principles. How are you going to submit to that government whose constitution is Torah when you can't even show up for the rehearsals right now? Come on, somebody.
Hallelujah.
A mountain that is symbolic of government. Its king is not of this world. Its constitution is the constitution of this world and the next world. And neither are the citizens of this world. Does anybody get the symbolism here? Is this too difficult? Is this too difficult for anybody? 6 days, 6 days of human history. 7th day, we go up into the mountain, and Yahweh shows us a kingdom that Reagan and Clinton and Obama and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and no rabbi can build. It is that stone made without hands that destroys all the other stones. And then,
Hallelujah.
now look at verse 2. He took them alone to make tefillah. What is tefillah?
Prayer.
And while he was making tefillah, he was transformed before them. And Yahshua's face did shine as the sun. And his clothing was white as the light. Are we on? Are we going? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And Mordechai, can you grab one of those towels for me, please? Thank you. While he was making tefillah, he was transformed. Thank you. And his face did shine. His clothing was white as light. Why? Yochanan 8:12. I am the light of the world. He that follows me should not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Brothers and sisters, this is the true Yeshua, who has already entered into his kingdom. And he is awaiting us in his kingdom glory. This is the Yeshua in Gilead, chapter 1, verses 12 through 9. They saw Yeshua in his Atid Lavo glory. Notice. When the Atid Lavo begins.
Hallelujah.
This is the Yeshua we will see. Let's read his description. Shining as the sun, clothing white as the light, living in a glory and in a Shekhinah and in a Tiferet that no man can conceive unless Yeshua calls you up to his mountain.
Hallelujah.
That's the spirit of Eliyahu. He calls you to a mountain where your grandmother's religion can't take you.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Buddha can't take you to this mountain. Confucius can't take you to this mountain. Your own reasoning can't take you to this mountain. Yeshua can take you to the mountain. When you understand the future, you can come back down from the mountain. And now the Torah will keep you, because in the latter days, you'll live on this mountain.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Give him a clap offering.
Praise
Somebody.
God.
Hallelujah.
See, he allowed the Talmudim to visit, but not to stay on this mountain. This is the true Yeshua, seen in Gideon 1:12 through 19. When the millennium begins, that seventh day, Sukkot leads us to the Atid Lavo. This is the one, brothers and sisters, we will see. Not a carpenter, not a Palestinian Esau. The Talmudim were fast forwarded in time to the seventh day to see what lies. What day were they in? The fourth. Y'all all mind with me? They were in the fourth day. And they were fast forwarded to the seventh day. We're in the sixth day.
Hallelujah.
And we need to be fast forwarded to the seventh day. And that's what Sukkot is all about, to keep you forward, to press forward to the mark of the high calling of Yahweh in Messiah Yeshua, somebody. Philippians 3:14. See what lies ahead for redeemed humanity and the renewed earth. Like Yeshua, when the kingdom, when the governments of this world will become the governments of Yeshua, and the governments will be born again. And we will be born again at Sukkot during Etanim on the 15th day of the 7th month. Man's governments cannot take you on this mountain. The Republicans and the Democrats cannot take you on this mountain. You've got to be in prayer. You've got to be listening and heeding to the voice of Eliyahu that prepares you for the Atid Lavo. There is no way, if we do not hearken to the Ruach of Eliyahu preparing us for the Atid Lavo, then Yahweh said, I will come in utter destruction. Your spirit, soul, and body will be destroyed. Remember, not just the Torah, but remember the Allah of the Torah, the curse. That's the Hebrew word for curse. It blew my mind. When I found out the Hebrew word for curse is Allah, it just literally blew my mind. And then I find it in 9/11, 911. Hello? So then we find out through all these understandings, we can be sure. Lloyd, you sure? We can be sure that O.J. Simpson is not the author of Daniel.
Amen.
Only Yahweh can predict this stuff. Look at verse 3. And see, in other words, you got to see what? Through the power of what? The Ruach of Eliyahu. Look at verse 3. We got a lot to cover.
3 what?
Montiyahu 17:3. And see There appeared to them, to who? Yaakov, Kepha, and Yochanan. There appeared to them Moshe Rabbeinu and Eliyahu, talking with him about what would happen to him in Yerushalayim. Notice, Moshe, now don't miss this, you've heard it taught today, and that's one interpretation. Moshe is the law, representing the Torah. Eliyahu represents what?
Testimony.
The prophets, and Yahweh, this is the way they teach it in the church. And Yahweh said, bad boy, don't listen to the Jews, and don't listen to that Old Testament. No, you need to listen to the Son of God. That's the way they teach it in the church. Eliyahu represents the prophets, Moshe represents the Torah, and the voice of Yahweh comes and says, this is my beloved son, meaning listen to the son and throw out 80% of the Bible. But I look at it from a different way. Am I boring anybody?
No.
Moshe represents the plan or the instructions of our return. Eliyahu represents the power and clarity of the plan of our return. I'll say that again. Moshe doesn't represent the law and Eliyahu the prophets only. That's one interpretation. But I believe a better interpretation is that Moshe represents the plan of return or the instructions of Shuvah, and Eliyahu represents the spirit and the power and the clarity to make return.
Amen.
Be willing to stand against religion, point people to Yeshua and his constitution, the Torah. Notice the topic was what would happen to him in Yerushalayim. What would happen to Yeshua in Yerushalayim? Yeshua said it is not possible for a prophet to perish outside of Yerushalayim. So in his first coming, they were talking about his impending demise, physical demise, his impending death. But I believe it's speaking about something else. They were talking to him on the mountain of the government of Yahweh established on the seventh day, listen, in the Atid Lavo, and they were talking to him about what would happen in Hong Kong.
Yerushalayim.
Mecca. I believe that Moshe and Eliyahu were talking to Yeshua about the government of the seventh day. Unlike the governments of the sixth day, they were speaking about millennial Sukkot and kingdom topics. I believe that. Not just his death in Yerushalayim in the first coming, but how the government would operate. Because they saw Yeshua like they had never seen him before. They saw him white and transformed and glorified. It was the Tiferet of Yahweh. And they said, you're a different Yeshua. Yeshua said, yeah, I'm representing a different kind of government.
Hallelujah.
This is a different kind of mountain than you're used to going on skiing and snowmobiling. This is a different kind of mountain. But to understand this mountain, you're going to have to get the plans of how to get to the seventh day after 6 days, Matthew 17:1. You're going to have to get the plans from Moshe Rabbeinu, and you're going to have a special empowerment from Eliyahu, the spirit of Eliyahu. Please don't resist the Kadosh, the Ruach HaKodesh, and P.S., please don't resist the spirit of Eliyahu. Because the Ruach HaKodesh takes you into the kingdom, but the Ruach of Eliyahu gives you boldness and authority to withstand Jezebelian obstacles that stop your brethren from coming back to the Commonwealth of Israel. Give him a clap offering in the house of Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
God by Yahweh. Look at verse 4. But not everybody goes up that mountain. This is too good. Not it! Sukkot, smell the coffee on Sukkot. Smell the lulav. Smell the myrtle. Smell the entrails. It's not the smell of human government. It is the smell of divine administration. Turn to your neighbor and say, divine administration. Movement of your people. Now, all 12 didn't go up that mountain. Only 3. Will all Israelites return? No. 3 out of 12. So don't worry about the other 8. Praise Yahweh. You will be there when the Kedoshim go marching in. Sukkot is a reminder of the guarantee. We're going to have no surprises. We're rehearsing for the kingdom. There'll be no shocks. We won't need shock therapy. Some of our believing brothers, when they get to the kingdom, they have to live in a tent in the kingdom for 1,000 years. Forget about 7 days. For 1,000 years. Let's be honest. Jerry, can we talk? Let's be honest. Some of our brothers and sisters are going to need shock therapy. Because they're waiting for a mansion in the Atid Lavo. The mansion's coming, but that's on the 8th day, which is separate from the 7 days. I believe in verse 3 they were talking to him about Yerush, what would happen to Yeshua in the 7th day, in the millennial kingdom, in the capital, Yerushalayim. Verse 4. Then answered Kepha and said to Yeshua, I got a few minutes. Then answered Kepha and said to Yeshua, Master, it is told for us to be here. If you will, let us make for you 3 Sukkot. One for you, one for Moshe Rabbeinu, and one for Eliyahu. You see, brothers and sisters, Kepha knew that in the kingdom, all nations will honor the kingdom by celebrating Sukkot. Kepha also knew that Sukkot was a sign that the kingdom is sure to come, and that it actually had come. Keep your finger there, go with me to Zechariah 14. Zechariah 14. Is anyone enjoying?
Amen.
Does this mean yes?
Yes.
Zechariah 14. We read this earlier. Verse 16. It shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations who come against Yerushalayim will go up from year to year to worship the Melech for the 1,000 years. Every year of those 1,000 years, they will worship the Melech, Yahweh Tzebaoth, that's Yeshua, to observe and guard Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. If anyone who will not come up of all the mishpachot of the earth to Yerushalayim to worship the Melech, Yahweh Tzebaoth, the King, they will have no rain. And if the family of Egypt, the Muslim nation, does not go up and enter in, they will have no rain. And this shall be the plague by which Yahweh will smite all the nations who refuse to come up for Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. Listen, if our forefathers kept Sukkot, and we're going to be keeping Sukkot in the Atid Lavo, why would we not keep Sukkot and celebrate Sukkot today? Why not? If Yeshua is going to make the nation celebrate Sukkot then, if we celebrated Sukkot in the past, well, why wouldn't we celebrate Sukkot now? If people believe we don't celebrate Sukkot now, be it known unto you, it's a mama spirit. It's a Jezebelian spirit that has come to obstruct our return to the things of Yahweh. They're not Jewish things. If they were, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in a Jewish synagogue. If you come to B'nai Yeshua's synagogue to learn how to be more Jewish, pardon me, I'll refund the money. I'll refund your money. You're in the wrong place. But I want to tear that proverbial, metaphoric, allegorical bumper sticker off my car, WWJD, and put a new one, WWYD. What would Yeshua do? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. He'll take you up to a mountain, show you the coming kingdom, and then allow you to understand that Sukkot was the sign of the kingdom. And Yahweh says, in the kingdom, if any Islamic or heathen or non-believer does not want to celebrate Sukkot, no problem, no rain. No rain, muerto. Muerto, adios, undertaker. Party's over. Get Don Meredith, formerly of Monday Night Football, to sing, the party's over. This is more proof, brothers and sisters, that the Ruach of Eliyahu sees the restoration of all things Hebraic as a prerequisite for the coming kingdom. I'll say that again. the proof that Kepha built 3 sukkah. And now, what would religion tell you? How would Jesus react? Say, put that hammer down. Put those weird palm branches down. Don't you know we're not under the law anymore? No. No, because Sukkot is the sign of the kingdom. What is the sign of Yeshua's coming? On Yom Teruah. What is the sign? Cosmic disturbance. Cosmic disturbance. All right. What is the sign that it'll never rain again 40 days and 40 nights on the earth? The rainbow. Ah, but what is the sign of a new government, of a new sheriff who's coming to town? The Sukkah. If you don't have the sign, you're on a dangerous road. I want you to understand that the sign of the kingdom. Kepha knew that right away. What's the first thing he did? He starts building 3 sukkahs. One for Yeshua, one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu. This is a proof that they were walking in the correct spirit of Eliyahu, for preparing for the kingdom, seeing the restoration of all things Hebraic, going back to building Sukkah, the sign of the kingdom to come, as a prerequisite for the kingdom coming to earth. Those awaiting a kingdom, those who are waiting for a kingdom, where communion, Mass, and Ishtar will be memorialized, will be in for a very long wait. Are we on? Are we going? So when we go into the sukkah in about 3 hours, when I finish my message, thank you. Now you know why I love those Colombians and El Salvadorians. Americans have Baptist butts. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't believe I said that. This is a government. This is a mountain that you can't even see without prayer and fasting and a submission to the spirit of Eliyahu. You can't even see it. If you can't see it, you're not building a sukkah. You don't see no need to build a sukkah when the sukkah is the sign that the kingdom is here. Kepha was transported. He was fast forwarded in time, and he knew, wait a second, if the kingdom is here, I better build Sukkot, because this is going to be my home for 1,000 years. And Yeshua, you know I love you. And Moshe Rabbeinu, you know I love you. And Eliyahu Hanavi, you know I love you. Can I have the honor and the mitzvah of building each one of you a Sukkah? Is anyone enjoying? Amen. You should be enjoying, brothers and sisters. This is not like Yom Kippur where we were standing for the message. The paid professional is standing. At least you get to sit. And if you think I'm a paid professional, I have a bridge in Brooklyn that I'd like to show you after the service. Matityahu 17 and 5. I want you to understand the other 9 never saw this. They were stuck in the 4th day. Hello? They didn't even see this. 9 out of 12 believers won't eat. They'll think you are in a cult. They think you are only days away from drinking Kool-Aid. Come on. Let's be honest. You need to be in prayer and submission to the Ruach of Eliyahu, which is calling the hearts of the children to the fathers, and the hearts of the fathers to the children, so we can avoid any possible curse that comes upon us. Am I preaching good today?
Amen.
But this is much more. And I'm going to limit myself, but I've got much more to share with you on Hoshana Rabbah. Maybe even this Shabbat. Verse 5. While Yahshua was yet speaking to Zechariah, to Eliyahu, Moshe, about the coming government in Yerushalayim, and Kepha was starting to make Sukkot. While Yeshua was instructing them, he said, look, while he was yet speaking, notice, a bright cloud, verse 5, overshadowed them. Turn to your neighbor and say overshadow. And they were greatly alarmed. You see, a bat kol, or a heavenly voice out of the cloud, said, this is my beloved Son, in him in whom I am well pleased. Hear him. Did you get that?
Yes.
Now what does that mean? Verse 5. The cloud that overshadowed them when they were greatly alarmed represents